Jimmy did in fact get shorted a little end of day. Not much, but a little bit. I still think some of those weekly calls probably just took profits because we keep getting rejected. Upstart 3091. Yeah, that might have peaked. Fubo still looks kind of good. I know it pulled back today, but it bounced back from the pullback. It's got a lot of way to go, and earnings is pretty close. Like, there's almost no ETF covering here at all. Yeah, I might continue to push up. I'd really like to see it get a leg up over a buck 50 and start to push out some of those sold calls. And a bunch of those sold calls fall off on Friday too, so that could make a big difference as well. Beyond pulled back a little bit today, but still looks like it's getting some covering as well. You know, a lot of this because Russell was down today, right? GoEV, same deal. Also in the R2K. So none of those really overperforming. SPX obviously had a rough day. 100 and almost 140 BPS drop. And you know, pretty significant, like almost double the market maker's expected move. It's one of the reasons we see a big spike in volatility. On longer term time frames, you know, it looks like we're really starting to lose 5640, right? Which means, you know, the next major level of support is going to be, you know, down here like 5610, 5600. I would say that's probably where we're headed next. NQ's down 300 basis points on the day and slid below the 20K mark, which is a big deal. Dollar's down 50 points almost. That's definitely hurting the spread on the carry trade with the JPY. Yields relatively unchanged throughout the day. The 20-year auction didn't really present any significant change to things. Bloomberg Commodity Index futures dropped a little bit today, down about 40 points. We've been seeing commodity demand kind of decline with the Chinese data after Sunday. That seems to be continuing. Although oil did overperform today due to the EIA reports, reserves aren't all that substantial. So correlation started to turn around a little bit today, and bulls tried to really protect that bottom from giving out and opening up that downside exposure below 55.75, but they didn't manage to actually turn it around. And that started to break down again into the end of the day. We're probably going to continue to see that happening. They did, however, prevent the forward yield of volatility from going positive, just barely. And this may creep up overnight. I think we got to a high of negative 0.8%. We closed the day out at negative 2.2. We're still really close though, and that demand is going to keep picking up, right? Especially as we near that. And if vol continues to move up, you know, VIX up almost 10% today, VIX 3 month up 6.04%, VIX futures up 3.3, right? So we're really getting a lot more demand and volatility. Bond vol up alongside the move up in 3 month correlation. Skew pulled back a little bit yesterday. It might be one of the reasons the drop kind of held up today, is that a little bit of that tail risk hedging pulled back as we rocketed to new all-time highs into the end of the day yesterday. They're still shorting the out of VIX. They're really trying to prevent that from kind of ramping up and giving that long signal, right? And VIX is now down to positive 10.39% correlation on the week, so it's dropped both Monday and yesterday, and now today as well, but still significantly higher than the prior week. Fed fund futures, they kind of chopped around a little bit on today's data, but mostly just flat, still at about 0.65. Somebody had to be worried of markets going down soon. His financial advisor responded to his inquiry with timing the market is a fool's errand. Oh, Jesus. Trump considering Daddy Jamie Dimon for U.S. Treasury? The top is never in. It will be if he gets his hands on the Fed. Anyway, today's breakdown, not really significant enough yet on the technical levels. remember earlier in the week, when I put down the technical analysis for the week for SPX, we still really want to see SPX lose that 55.70 level from the prior week. And that's where we'd first get an indication that things are maybe starting to turn around. Below that, the 54.46 level would confirm a reversal. We haven't even really hit the test yet. Things here can still reverse really easily. There's a ton of sold calls in the money above us, and if we push up into them, that's going to trigger that cover bid from the on ES, right? And that's going to trigger a squeeze, right? So we really need to push those deep enough into the money that they don't present a risk to the price bouncing up back through them again. And I think 55.70 is probably going to be the first step on the way to that. But we're still very far from, I know it's a bearish day, but we're still really far from an actual reversal. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. I hope everyone has a lovely night. Later.